Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today I have a very special unboxing for you. Something that came in from, let's see, Kaviso, right there. Something we ordered. Pretty sure you may have an idea what it is. Today I'm opening up with my Kaviso Ray Laconico collaborative keen. Really nice knife. I like this one. Nice big flat grind blade. Well, so let's get into it. Get the receipt out of the way. And there we go. And let's look at this, a Kaviso box. What do we have here? The Keen Mini. All right, so this is S35VN, blade steel, gray bead blasted, titanium frame lock. So let's take a look. All right, so this is the mini version of what we have over here, which is the Keen. So as you can see, definitely a smaller version. Now this one doesn't have any jimping on the flipper, and this one does. Now this is a little, obviously, a little thinner, a little smaller. I got the stone washed blade on this one. I do like the deep pocket carry clip, which is nice. A back spacer in the back. This is number 552. All right, so nice clip. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. All right, I'm going to go ahead and give it a flip. Well, before we do that, nice chamfering all the way around. The clip here is nice, not any hot spot. It is definitely a mini, so let's give it a flip. Not bad at all. All right, so this is definitely, I want to call bead blasted, I think is that what they call it? Yeah, bead blasted. So this is bead blasted. It's nice, kind of tacky grip. You're not going to drop it. It is a frame lock, so you can see that. We've got about, I want to say a good 50%, 60% lockup. Any blade rock? No, we're in there solid. All right, so we've got, looks like T8 there, T6s on these guys right there, T6s and T8s. All right, a couple T6s over here, kind of what you expect. Now this is not a super expensive knife, but it's a pretty good price knife. It's a nice collaborative. It's a Ray Laconico, obviously, design. That edge is actually really nicely even on both sides. Let's feel that, pretty good. It's mostly flat grind. It kind of stops a little bit there. This one does it a little bit too right there, but it's almost a full flat grind. So let's see how that drops. Pretty good action. Can we get the reverse flick? We can. Definitely reverse flick. Let's see, let's do that again. Yeah, this will break in really nice. Now I'm sure if I'd gotten the satin finish, let's check the centering real quick. All right, centering is dead on. And you can definitely see it's a much thinner blade, obviously. This is a big, heavy blade, and that's what kind of gives this a beautiful drop, the weight of that blade. Whereas this is a much smaller blade. It still has relatively nice drop. I wonder what size washers these are. We'll have to take a look at that, see if we have something that can fit it. But that jimping works really nice. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. That's really cool. And see the reverse flip works well. Now let's see, can we do the left-handed? Well, we can. It's a little tricky. Got to get in the right spot. Got to use your clip. Got to make sure you get down here low enough and get enough in there. So there we go. It can be done. It's a little more challenging, but it certainly can be done. This is right-hand tip up only, if you noticed. Some nice chamfering all the way around. I do like the tackiness on here. This definitely gives you a good contact, good grip. You can already see where my ring touched there. There's a little bit of gold rub off. So there we go. But nice full grind. So I mean, we're looking at about under 3-inch blade. So if you're in a state where you need an under 3-inch knife, this would be really, really nice. I think it would be a really great alternative. And there you have the Ray Laconico signature name. Typically have as R Laconico on the blade, just like this one has it as well, obviously, right? So, but this is a great knife. I think this was like about 125, 135 bucks or something like that. So it's a great deal for what you get. S35VN steel. Let's see, does it say anywhere that's S35VN steel? Do you see that anywhere? Let's see if we can see that on here somewhere. Sometimes it's written really small. No, on this one I don't see it. So maybe because of the bead blasted that we have on here, you're not going to see it. So yeah, the action's pretty good. I'm kind of surprised. Really nice and centered. Works really well. I'll have to check the skiffs, see if there's skiffs that can fit this, and if I have any, that'll be cool. But nice little knife. I mean, if you need a small carry, this is definitely a nice alternative. I think that's really cool. I do like that. Really cool. Yeah, so this is the Keen Mini, and this is a Ray Laconico design. Obviously, you can see that. Interesting bead blasted finish on the blade itself too, which is really nice. The handles, let's take a nice close look at that. You can see that. There's the blade, nice full flat grind. We'll look at the back side. There's the frame lock with the screws. There you can see the lockup, right? Here's the back side of it, with the number 552. You can see the pocket clip. Looks like it's nice angle to go over here. It's not real flat, so it's not going to bunch up. Definitely has a little ramp and going down and up, which is really cool. So it does have a steel bar insert and an over travel stop. You can see that over travel stop right there. So that helps when especially when you're pushing out like that. So you're not going to have to worry about that. And there's the deployment actuation is really nice. I like that a lot. Very, very cool. So the flipper works really well. I do like that. For a small knife like this, okay, so I have medium to medium large hands. So my hands are large widthwise, medium lengthwise. And so I can get 4 fingers on here. I'm almost over the edge. Can I choke up? Yeah, I can choke up a little bit. It's like a trigger. I wouldn't recommend choking up a whole lot. You can put your finger here maybe, but definitely can get here for a nice pinch grip to do some precision cutting. So that's nice. I do like that. Very, very cool. Yeah, and if you noticed, what I thought was really cool, it's still contoured like the original. So you can see this one has probably a little more contour shape to it. This one's not as much, but still it is contoured. So it gives you that nice rounded feel right there. So that's really cool. I do like that a lot. So very, very cool. I like that. Okay, so a couple of things that I would point out. It is a captive pivot. Smaller screws, T6s, wish they were T8s, but you know, hey, they're T6s on the large one, so you know, maybe cut cost somewhere, right? Definitely a T8 on the pivot screw. This one does have some jimping here, so that's nice for the flipper. And especially being a smaller knife, if you have bigger hands, you know, it gives you a little more traction. Whereas this flipper was pretty big and really worked nicely, right? That was a much bigger flipper there. And so the push button on that one worked well as the light switch. So on this one you can do the push button and then you can do the light switch really nicely. Anyways, on this one, let's see here. Yep, you can do the push button and yes, you can do the light switch. I like the titanium handles. I like the lockup. I mean, it's kind of it's pretty big lockup here. I mean, we're looking at, I want to say 60–70%. I mean, that's a fair amount. As long as we don't have any blade rock, we're in there pretty solid. I guess that's okay. But man, that really is over quite a bit. I'm glad it didn't cause a really strong detent and still allows it to drop shut relatively nicely. I do like the back spacer. There is a lanyard hole, but it's not prioritized over the lanyard clip. Let's see how deep is our carry. We're about yay deep. So it's not super deep, but it's not super high. You know, it's not like a really, really high clip, but I would say it's somewhat deep. You know, it's not a deep carry for sure, but it's definitely nice and out of the way. Yeah, so nice chamfering and roundedness on the back of the blade. You can feel that, so that's nice and softened right there. It's not really sharp. And I mean, so if you had a ferrous rod, that would be a bummer because people like that sharp edge to do the ferrous rod sometimes. But you know, this seems more like an EDC carry, something you would carry with you in the city or something. So I think because it's under 3 inches, there's certain states and cities where you can carry this. Like, I don't know the exact laws. Please check with your local law enforcement, whatever, for the laws. But I think Boston and I think Chicago, excuse me, I'm a little late because I have to wait to pick up my son from work. He's working tonight. But I think that makes this a contender to be legal in certain locations, right? Being under 3 inches. So that is pretty cool. I still like that I can middle finger reverse flick it. That's really nice. Oops, you gotta make sure you get in there, right? And the sand finish, not sand finished, I guess it's bead blasted, sorry, the bead blasted, gives it a nice tackiness, a grip to it, that's really nice. There's definitely on this one as well, and it does soften up after some carry, you know, and then you get some of the rub marks like I have on this one, because I do carry and use my knives quite often, so this one's broken in really well.
So I think that's going to be nice. I definitely can get 4 fingers on here. I mean, I'm close to being almost off the edge, but that's okay. For a small, when I want a small EDC knife, this is a really nice alternative. I think that's really, really cool. I like that a lot. Very cool. All right. Well, so that's about it for the unboxing. First impressions, right? That's really what we're doing. This is not a full review. A review will be coming, but yeah, pretty cool. I like contoured. I like the back spacer. I like the lanyard not being prioritized. T8s, I wish they were a little bigger. I like the jimping here. It's got nice action. It definitely, you know, a little wiggle and it shuts. It doesn't quite guillotine drop shut by itself. That could be because of the bead blast and how exposed the blade is in there with the next to the pivot and whatever. I'm sure that's going to be, yes, ceramic ball bearings. And I suspect, I don't know how big they are. Are we looking at about similar in size here? Yeah, it could be the same size as this one over here, so we'll have to take a look. But that's very, very cool. I like it a lot. Yeah, nice little knife. Definitely a nice little knife. Nice collab there. And I like the longer edge here, which for this nice thin edge gives it nice, thin, cutty, sharp edge. So it's a little rounded, definitely a drop point. Some people might call that a spear point because it's almost symmetrical, right? So it's close to being a spear point. Yeah, probably could get away with calling that a spear point, you know, like this one as well, because technically, yeah, that really would be a spear point. So, I don't know. I always think of drop point because only, excuse me, one side is sharpened, but technically I think that's a spear point. You know, we can call it whatever you want. It's your knife, right? And I'll call it a spear point. Looks more like a drop point to me, you know, in the sense of functionality, but technically it is a spear point. When I think of spear points, I usually think of 2 edges that you can kind of have off of that. That's more of a dagger, I know, but, you know, whatever. We can be technical and we can get real detail, or we can just enjoy the knife. And I choose to enjoy the knife, right? But I do like that. You know, I'll call it the spear point because that's what it is. But I still, shapes are such a weird thing nowadays because you could have really what you thought was exactly what a shape is, and someone will come along and tell you were wrong all along. And there's maybe a new definition on how the shapes work. So there is that. Very cool. I like this, the compactness. This is definitely going to be a nice one, and I do like how they soften when they do when they cut out on the lock bar. Sometimes these are really sharp and they rip up your pants, and so that's really nice. I like that, and it does help with the over travel stop with the clip being almost on the frame lock. So very cool, you know. And let's look at that detent. So good detent, no detent lash. No blade rock. All that stuff is really good. Oh, and let's look at the relief cut. So there's nice cutout. You can get to that. Look at that beautiful, beautiful chamfering on the lock bar. Man, I wish more people would do that. Nice, smooth chamfering, not a sharp edge. I don't like a radial cut here because usually it means it's sharp, especially in the smaller knife. You can kind of get away with it because it's not as heavy, it doesn't have as much force, and sometimes a little bit of a radial cut allows you to get in there to hold it. When the knife gets much bigger like this, you want that chamfering to be, you know, nice. You don't want it to be radial cut where it isn't like a convex or concave kind of sort of, not convex, concave sort of shape like a part of a ball, right? That makes that edge a little bit sharp and uncomfortable. And I've had a couple of knives that were like that and it was very disappointing, but this one is not. It's really nice. So very, very, very cool. I like this little guy. Hey, if you have any questions or any thoughts or any ideas for the channel or for this video or about this knife, please let me know down in the comments. I do try to read all the comments and I do try to interact with everybody. Hey, if you like this video, you found it informative, interesting, or just something great to watch, would you consider hitting the like button down below? If you've already hit that like button, would you also consider hitting the subscribe button? Subscribing and liking the videos really, really helps out the channel, helps me out to be able to produce more content, do more things. So please consider doing that. Thank you so much. And if you've already done that, maybe consider hitting the notification button so you can be notified of future content. And lastly, if you haven't checked me out already, maybe check me out over on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching today. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.